lost all of my love and my sanity. Vanity told me I'm too hard to handle. Dismantle any opposition, quit playing me. Brothers hella lame, how they get their name? Israelites lacking integrity. Politics made it to Israel, but it's not spiritual. Why can't I let them get next to me? Chef in the kitchen, he cooking, he cooking, he cooking. These niggas trying to steal a recipe. Look at my weaponry, that is my specialty. Lion, a Zion, a Judah, full pedigree. Repping my legacy. If I got a body rappers, then Mac, he gon' be the accessory. Judah the gang, and I'm repping it heavily. Vocals the same, but I got a new melody. I'm from the bottom of Rebel to Grepper Street. Haters, they hate me, they really be repping me. Yeah, they really be repping me. I went to war for some brothers who never had love and they heart of respect for me. Gates told me go where they celebrated, they don't just tolerate your gifts. Christ told me shake the dust off your feet and take your peace with you when you dip. Made it out of a city where plenty crashed. We never had nothing, we needed cash. Feds gave us Aguilera, we didn't know better. We turned it to Lenny Crab. Should've got yards running from my past, but the Lord made a way when he threw the flag. Beat the case, but I blew the bag. Did it bare face, we don't do the mask. Now Protestant, Jesuit, Lutheran, now we don't do the mass. I just be watching they movement and how they maneuvering, slithering through the grass. Who gon' pity for the snake charm? Put them in the bag, shake the snake on them. It's never about who your haters, it's always about how much money you making on them. Put your riches in the most high, that's the best flip for the best price. Cash in with your house shy, I'ma die once, I'ma live twice. Balls mean, but my flow nice. Rep 12, not the pole lights. Chef, he the light of the world, I'm trying to keep all of my babies from pole light.
You died once, but you lived twice. Please don't get left, you'll have no rights. Me and Chef steam like bowl rice. This be getting 8 like 4 twice. A European, get your soul right. They don't hear me though, like no mic. How they supposed to know, like no advice? Children of the light, like no night.
Got me feeling like Ricky Bobby up in Talladega. I'm on the road, feel like I'm on fire. Holding it down till I see the Messiah. Dripping in gold, you see the attire. Dripping in gold, you see the attire. I say it twice for those I inspire. Make it a third for all of the liars.
Please do not treat this like entertainment, man, I pray you don't. This a cry for your soul. Renew your thinking and rearrange it, man, I pray you do. Cause the kingdoms are gone. They're really tricking for little payments, making money moves, but you losing your soul. How y'all be thinking, be aggravating? I'm not spelling that like I'm losing my nose. We gotta represent, children is watching. We see with the ruach, the spirit is watching. Me and Chef at the back, we did the way that we flipping this heat, man, it feel like hibachi. Killing these demons with pain is my doctrine. I'm bobbing and weaving, it feel like I'm boxing. I want the kingdom of heaven, the mysteries that are spoken of in 2nd Colossians.
Yeah. Die once, live twice. Yeah.
Shalom, 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 shalom. Welcome to the Scorn Black Man Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Israel. I have my co-host here, Brother Don Yehuda, Fire Talk Radio Podcast. And we're going to bring you a wonderful show today. This is episode 34, Negroes to Hebrews. Yeah, not Hebrews and Negroes, but Negroes to Hebrews. The descendants of the African diaspora are the real Jews. The scripture says, Psalms 83rd chapter 1 through 6 verse, King James Version, tells us that all nations are in one consent to keep the identity of the real Israelites hidden from them and the world. But now African Americans and Negroes from the diaspora are waking up to their true culture and roots. Brother Don Yehuda, how you doing today?
Hey, shalom, happy Sabbath to you and everybody in the chat that's tuning in. I'm doing good.
Wonderful, brother. Wonderful, brother. Wonderful. And man, I guess we're just going ahead and just dive right on into it, man. You know, it's been big talk, big issues, man, going around. You know, you've seen Kanye West come out. He said, hey, Negroes, you know what I'm saying? You are the real Jews too. But I'm gonna let you know, we are the real Jews. Jews is short for Judah. That's one tribe, but we are the 12 tribes of Israel, the children of Israel. You seen Brother Kyrie come out, show Hebrews and Negroes a picture of the a thumbnail of the movie, and then the whole world flips upside down. You know, we get shamed for when we come up or wake up, to our identity. So now it's all right. You watch these commentators, Brother Don Yehuda, and they always It seems like they're so powerful for they black people. Yeah, yeah, man. And you white folks, this right here, man, we're going to speak our mind, blase, blase. But then they have a real problem when it comes down to a specific group of Caucasians, and that would be the Jewish people. Now, they go to buck dance. All these ones that's rah, rah, rah. And shout out to Jason Whitlock. He brought this out. And for all people, he brought this out. Like, you know, y'all always, you know, they go at these regular white Americans and the UK American, but Caucasians, but these Jewish Caucasians, they buck dance for. And right now we have a lot of our brothers. Every time our brothers and sisters stand up for who we are, they get ridiculed, told that they're crazy. They take their money, you know, basically, you know, just blackballed out of the entertainment business or whatever kind of job they have. And it's disgusting, but yes, you are the Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. If you come off those slave ships and you scout to the four corners of the earth, and we're just not talking to the African Americans. Those boats just didn't come here. We're talking to our brothers and sisters that scattered to the four corners of the earth, especially over here in the Americas, North America, Central America, and South America, the Caribbean islands. My brothers and sisters over there in the UK. Our brothers and sisters scattered in 54 different countries on the continent of Africa. Our brothers and sisters in Asia. Our brothers and sisters throughout the Middle East. So we're going to let freedom reign, so to speak. Like Martin Luther King. Shalom, brothers, the doc. Let's talk knowledge and wisdom radio. How you doing today?
Hey, shalom, brother. Shalom. I'm doing all right. All praise to the Most High. Good to see everybody on the panel, man.
Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Peace to all those in the chat. Peace to everybody in the chat, too.
Shalom, Mark. How you doing today?
Good, brother. Good.
And just to show you that, you know, all these things are prophesied of the awakenings. We're going to, you know, be showing you how we are the Israelites, the prophecies, past, present, and future. And we're just going to go ahead and get into it, man. I want to start off with a scripture. The book of Baruch, chapter 2, verse 30. For I knew that they would not hear me, because it is a stiff-necked people. But in the land of their captivities, they shall remember themselves, because we have forgotten ourselves. And since I quoted the in the description, it was quoted Psalms, the 83rd chapter, 1 through 6. I'm gonna just go ahead and get it for you. The book of Psalms, 83rd chapter, verses 1 through 6. And this is to show you that all nations are in cahoots to keep our name, our identity, our true culture away from us. They're all in cahoots, because once we wake up, you're going to see the real power that we have. You know it's something special about you. You wonder, you scratching your head every damn day, like, why in the hell are we at the bottom? The Haitians getting beat and killed by the Dominicans, but because the Dominicans, they something else. It's foolishness. But because now one of them got our real names. So let me get this for you. Once again, the book of Psalms, 83rd chapter, verses 1 through 6. Keep not thy silence, O God. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation. Let the name of Israel be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites, and Moab, and the Hagarenes. Now, just that alone tells you, for lo, let thy enemies make a tumult. What is it? A tumult is an agreement. Right. They have taken Catholic council against our people. What is Catholic council? They sneaky as hell.
Mm-hmm.
They make it an agreement, and they make it a sneaky ass agreement. They are consulted against us. They hide it from us. They make it a sneaky ass agreement, and they hide it from us. And also some of their people, because they know that they people will try to help us if most of them knew. Because there's not always all heathens or Gentiles or strangers ain't all bad. Some of them help Negroes. You know, we're just gonna keep it real. You know what I'm saying? We're just gonna keep it real. Because all of them bad, we'll still be in chains and goddamn getting beat with whips. But we ain't in that hard bondage no more. Now, they consult against our hidden ones. They have come say they'll cut them off, and been cutting them off. That means they want to take away from being a nation that the name of Israel be no more remembrance. That is right there. Let's change their names. We're gonna keep changing their names. You're a color, you're a Negro, you're a black, you're African American. You're everything but a Hebrew Israelite that the Bible speaks of. You're everything but a child of God, of the Most High God. Do you see the sneakiness that this is going on here? But I just want to wake y'all up to a little something. But I'm gonna pass it, brother Dunya, who the Fire Talk Radio, man. Just give when you found, or how did you find out that you was an Israelite that the Bible speaks of?
Well, I went on I was exploring just basically what was the meaning of life. A lot of things was going on in my life at a time where I started questioning certain things, and I was just wondering what was the purpose of everything. And so what I started doing was going into various information. I was looking at various videos, different scholars, different organizations, ideologies. And to make a long story short, the Most High on the side, you know, on YouTube, they give you other videos that you might be interested in on the side. I seen the Israelites on the side. I didn't know who they were. And, you know, I was looking at what they was wearing and all that, you know, the whole, you know, thing, how they be trying to get on our people about what we wear. But it intrigued me because I never seen anybody in the garb. I see they on the corner. So I said, let me look into this to see what they're talking about. So I clicked on one of the videos, and, you know, the very first Israelite camp that I came across was ISUPK. And I started watching some of their videos, and, you know, some of the things that they were saying were just so profound. I'm like, whoa, you know, this was in the Bible, you know, and I was always brought up in the church, especially when I lived with my mom. I was there Sunday, Wednesday, revivals, you know what I'm saying, church function, whatever it was, she had us there. You know, she's a super Christian. So I was always in the church, but I've never heard this understanding how it was being brought out. So at that point, they really, at that time, I didn't come across too many of their videos, which led me to then IUIC. And IUIC, you know, was the next one in line as far as me just watching the videos. And just to make a long story short, I ended up joining that organization for a period of time. I actually was congregating with those brothers and sisters for probably about 5 to 6 years, maybe even a little bit longer than that. And so that's really how I came into the truth. You know what I'm saying? Just really soul searching, asking questions, things of that nature. And the Most High just slowly but surely just steered me into the right direction. Now I'm 10 toes down in this truth. I can't see nothing else. I don't think I'm going to be, you know, have no other understandings. No matter what I read, what I come across, I'm going to always pit it against that foundation of the scriptures and who I am in these scriptures and what it means. So, you know, that's my rock, my foundation. You know, the only thing that I'm going to do is try to delve deeper into the scriptures and try to get a better understanding of where that stuff come from. So that's how I came into the truth.
Con. You know, I came into truth. I tell this story a lot. I was in Vegas, and I was actually with somebody from y'all city, from Erie, one of the little homies, and it was in April 2014, and so you know, I came out. I think I seen who is now Deacon Joshua over there. He was telling some Edomites off, telling they're gonna be in captivity, they're gonna be out slaves. So I'm walking down Vegas Boulevard. I'm from the Paris. I'm walking down. I come back later on. I come back to my room at Paris, and they were still out there. It was, it was nighttime now, and the little homie walked by and said, "Hey man, you man, pull your pants up." You know what I'm saying? That's traits of a homosexual. I was like, "Hey man, go back and get your respect from them." So as he went to talk to the person who was teaching at the time, because somebody a different teacher now, I walked to one of the dudes on the side and got a flyer, and I looked at it. I didn't think too much of it. And I grew up in a Christian background, like you say, going to church, Bible study, all that stuff right there, especially when I was younger. My grandma, is she was a pastor or whatever. And so my granddad was a deacon and stuff like that on my mama's side. And so when I went on my next vacation, I still had that flyer in my carry-on bag. And I seen it and I went home, and I always stay with her when I go home. My pastor grandma, and I gave it to her. I said, "Hey, you ever seen this right here? You ever heard this before?" She looked at it. "Yeah, I heard of it." And she put it down. Right. So I knew it was something to it. So I ended up leaving it there by mistake. And then I came across White It Out series with Watchman Yahoo and Sister Deborah. And I think they had part 2 out. They had just dropped part 2 then. And man, they had dropped part 3 and 4. And when I caught them, they just brought me all the way in. I started watching Watchman Yahoo. I started watching General Yashar and IUIC. And then I ended up I watched IUIC for about a good year before I ended up joining them in like 2016 September. I think it was Day of Atonement, and I was with them for like 2 years. And then from there, I just been, doing my thing, congregating with brothers, true disciples of Christ, congregating, with their FOPE, the CUC family. But, we do our thing, Brother Dunn. We've been in this thing for a while and just try to season and bring it in. But enough about me, Brother Zadok. Let's Talk Knowledge and Wisdom Radio, man. How did you first hear about this truth? Your journey?
Kind of one similar of Brother Don Yehuda's. I was coming across things on YouTube. I was pretty much searching, man, for myself, self-identity. For quite some time, I was putting a lot of my faith into different things like trying to become an entrepreneur, dumping my money in all these things. I was just losing out, man, every avenue because I was rejecting, the truth. But I came across after looking at some ancient alien stuff, the spirit came across me on YouTube and threw some Brothers in Purple, man, up on my recommendations, man. And I just happened to click on it. And I couldn't believe the things that was coming out of their mouth, man, with that Bible open, man. I said, nah, and I got a Bible sitting over on the porch, man, sitting on the desk next to me. I said, let me open this thing up, man, and see what they talk about, man. Is this another gimmick, man? Because I was falling for a lot of gimmicks, man, a lot of, falsehoods and whatnot. I picked that Bible up, man, and I followed along in what it was saying, and I fell to the floor, man. I actually had some weed I was about to smoke, right? And it was happening. They was talking about, getting high and things of this nature, man. And I crumbled that up, man, threw it away, man. I followed them scriptures, man. Let me tell you, man, I was up like a crackhead all day and night, man, itching, man, all up in them scriptures, man, following along. And I started to grow my beard out, man. I had the brother Don Yehuda. He could tell you, man. I gave that brother a shirt. I said, put these fringes on, man. I happened to see a brother that I was working with at a hospital. I saw him in the elevator with fringes on, and it further confirmed my belief, and faith in the scriptures, man. I said, this is it. This got to be the truth right here. This got to be the truth, man. So I started immediately, just trying my best, man, to walk that straight, narrow path. Although it's been a slippery one, man. We all fall short, things of that nature. But you get up, keep pressing on, man. But yeah, that's pretty much how I came in. I started to congregate with IUIC down in Pittsburgh, man. You know, and things just kind of took off from there, man. You know, like Brother Don Yehuda said, I can't put it down. 10 toes down in it, man. You know, keeping these Sabbaths, man. Loving my people, man. You know, leaving the heathens alone. You know what I'm saying? And just trying to walk a straight, narrow path, man, the best of my ability, man. That's about it.
Come. So, you know, and what we want to do is probably, do you want to get into the video, Don Yehuda?
Yeah, let me segue it real quick with this scripture, because you know everybody that's listening right now kind of got a feel for how each one of us came into the truth, and I'm pretty sure that everybody that's in the truth, seeking the truth, probably came about it somewhat of the same way. You know, it always is a stir in your spirit or hearing something that was profound off of something that you thought you knew. So one of those two ways, might be some other little nuances that might, but at the end of the day, we all came in under the auspices of learning something new. Something stirred the spirit. Something said, man, I never heard this before. This is who I am. And the reason for that is because our people are suffering amnesia. When we start showing the videos and like when we go into schools, before we get to the video, let's just back it up to just the miseducation of the so-called black man and woman in America. We don't know our history past the 16, 1700s here in America. They start us off learning slavery. So you're thinking that you were born right into slavery. Like your history allegedly starts in slavery, picking cotton in the South, being whipped, being tarred and feathered, hung, you know, all of these atrocities, and, you know, your family being split up. So these are the things that we're taught. We're never taught who we are as a people. So we gravitate to a lot of misnomers and bywords such as black, Afro-American, African-American, and so forth, because we're searching for an identity that we do not no longer have. We're people that's suffering amnesia. And this is spoken about in Jeremiah chapter 17:4. It says, and thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. For you have kindled a fire in my anger, which shall burn forever. So right there, it tells you that we were going to discontinue from our heritage. We were going to suffer amnesia, which goes right into what you were saying earlier, Zadok, about the crafty counsel. See, one thing people got to realize when you read scriptures, it just doesn't happen like that. You know what I'm saying? There's a progression of events that the Most High has already set into place that's going to take place in real time through human actions and interactions. So over a course of time, by them doing the crafty counsel, by them coming together behind our backs, you know what I'm saying, plotting against us, you know, making determinations of what they were going to do with us, how they was going to do it to us, what they needed to do in order for us to fall as a people. Because once again, we know, according to Judith, you know, your enemies, they know us. They know exactly how we can access our power, and they know exactly how we can fall. You know what I'm saying? If we're in sin, we're going to fall. If not, the Most High is going to fight for us, and he's going to empower us and give us victory over the nations. So we're suffering from amnesia, and this was prophesied through the prophet Jeremiah that would happen through the crafty counsel, and most importantly, through our sinning, through our disobedience.
Come on. I mean, and I want to, you know, let me back off that. We don't know. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? We're going to prove to you through scripture and history and archaeological proof that you don't know. Isaiah, the first chapter, the 3rd verse, the ox knows his owner, and the ass his master's crib. So here go two dumb animals, but they know one thing. The ox knows his owner, and the ass, that donkey, that horse, and all them, they know his master's crib. Let me tell you, I'm a black cowboy. So you can ride a horse 5 or 10 miles, and the motherfucker could buck your ass off. Guess what? That horse gonna haul ass, and he's gonna make his way all the way back home and beat you. The horse gonna be in the stable eating grass by the time your ass make it home. You know what I'm saying? It's this in the Bible. It's written 3,000 years ago. This is the Old Testament.
Right, right.
The ox knows its owner. You put 100 people out there, the ox gonna go around, and he gonna go right to the owner. Just like the horse is too, but the horse want to make it all, the ass want to make it all the way back home. So I'm going to repeat this. Isaiah, the 1st chapter, 3rd verse. The ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel, you Negroes, scattered across the four corners of the earth, you've been going in captivity since the Egyptians, the Babylonians, the Assyrians, the Persians, the Grecians, and now the damn Caucasian Americans, UKs, and everybody scattered across. But Israel do not know. You don't know where you at. My people do not consider it. You don't give a damn who you are. Me not black, me Dominican. Me not black, me Afro-American. Me not black, me a Christian. You everything but who you are. Man, this right here is the doggone shame, man. Because these are some of the curses, you know what I'm saying, we're going to get into. But hell, but since we got the scriptures open right now, let's just get into a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? Let me get back to the book of Baruch here. I'm going back to the book of Baruch here. And we're going to do the 4th chapter. And we're going to do the 6th and 7th verse. And it goes a little something like this. Chapter Baruch, 4th chapter, 6th and 7th verse. Ye were sold to the nations. You were sold in they forget about the sub-Saharan slave trade. That was strictly the Arabs. You were sold to the nations, the transatlantic slave trades, to the damn Caucasians scattered across the bar, the damn Chinese motherfuckers, the goddamn East Indians over there ruling in damn Trinidad. You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye removed the Most High God to wrath. Because ye moved the Most High God to wrath. You were delivered into your enemies. The Most High gave you to them. Because you want to be like them any damn way. All y'all want to do is be like everybody damn else. But everybody want to be like you because they know how special you is. So the Most High give your ass up right to him. For ye provoke him. Who is him, the Most High? You provoke the Most High that made you by sacrificing to devils. Your Christmas, your Thanksgiving, your New Year's, your damn Easter bunnies, your damn every dog, your 4th of July, your Columbus days, all your goddamn days, all your pagan ass holidays, all these idols and celebrities you're worshiping. Let me read that part again. For ye provoke him that made you by sacrificing unto the devils, but not unto the Most High God. You don't give a damn about him. So this is why the Most High done. This is why we be at the bottom of society. The little bit of money we make now, you think that's something? That ain't nothing. And let me tell you, Negroes over here, because I hear some of y'all talk about, when we start talking about these other our brothers and sisters in other nations, y'all start talking about some, man, the women don't got it that bad over there. Hey, listen, the women and the men got it terrible. Our brothers and sisters got it terrible. We got it the best because we have resources and knowledge and money to get more resources and buy more knowledge. They living in third worlds, hardly no damn electricity, hardly no damn water. This is why the Most High waking us up, because we got the damn resources to damn do it and to wake them up. They in third world countries, man, with hardly nothing to eat. So we got to look out for our brothers and sisters in these other countries and quit thinking that we just over here in America. That's just a side note. Now, let me get off my high horse here for a second. We know that we were ran out of, because people want to know, well, how we got over here? Well, we were ran out of Egypt in 70 AD. We're going to probably touch on that later. It's in the book of Luke. We got ran out of Israel in 70 AD, ran right into Africa. Why Africa was always able to hide into Egypt in the different parts of Africa. It was called Mizraim then. Egypt is a Greek word that stands for bondage. We got Greek names now. We're going to show you in the Bible how they went to change the images. So now you got a white Jesus and a white God and little naked baby white angels. We're going to get into it, man. You know what I'm saying? Brother Daniel Huda, man, I'm gonna let you lead this show, man. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna get kind of hot, boy. It's gonna get kind of hot, man. What you want to do, Daniel Huda, man? You want to go into the video, man, or you want to break down some more scriptures?
Yeah, let's segue right into the video, because like I was saying, like you brought out, and like from our own testimonies, man, we all searching. We was all searching. So that lets you know we have amnesia. We don't have a heritage. We don't have an identity. So right here, we're going to show you in this video clip how other people know, either from their studies or from their oral traditions, that we are those people. We are the people of the book. So yeah, let's go ahead and roll that video, and then we'll just jump back in and, you know, build from there.
Okay.
Have a Jewish friend?
No, sir, I do not have a Jewish friend. I am the black Jew. I am the black Hebrew. I am a member of the family of the black Hebrew Israelites. But if you're asking me, do I have a white so-called Jew friend who is not in that line of Semites, so I can't be anti-Semitic? Did you know that there are Semites in Africa? Did you know that there are Semites in Asia? That there are some Semites so black until they're blue black, purple black, and beautiful? These are people using a political term, anti-Semitism, when it's really anti-Kemetism, an anti-black program.
But nevertheless, there is true Hebrews. There is a true people of the Most High that is scattered throughout the nations of the earth this day. It is not whom that many people believe they are, such as the so-called Jews in the nation-state of Israel that we so see before us right now. I would interject that the true biblical Hebrews are the so-called African-American people that are scattered abroad throughout the world. It is very important that you understand who the true Hebrews are, because that end-time prophecy, lots of it, surround these individuals. Now please understand that not every single black person is a true Hebrew, but it is those that are under the curse of Deuteronomy 28.
Shalom, shalom from Israel. This is Ola, the daughter of Jethro. And I just heard that you black people that was stolen from Africa to America, that you don't know who you are. But you are the children of Yahweh, the children of Israel. And I'm telling you, you have to come back to your homeland, here to Zion, to Jerusalem, because us the Gentiles, we do need you. We need you to come and pray, because you are our saviors. You're the one that was chosen by Yahweh to live in this land, not the Jewish people, it's you. You were stolen from Africa, they deceived you, they told you that you are slaves, but you actually the children of Israel. And it's time just to come back. Come for your people, come back for us, come back for the whole Gentiles, because only you gonna save us. So please come back to Zion.
Which are an ancient community of the Israelite exiles. Now this is, for the most part, the general consensus of the largest people in Africa. You do have different groups like the Abudai in Uganda who aren't saying they're from the lost tribes, but have joined the people of Israel in the large amounts of numbers. One other location I'd like to... Actually, before I go into this other location, what's fascinating is, which I speak about, is the transatlantic slave trade. A large percentage of it actually came from Igbo territory. So these Igbo today in Nigeria, who are practicing Jews, numbering the 40 million people with customs and traditions, doing circumcision on the 8th day, were the same exact people brought to the Americas on the transatlantic slave trade. Now, if someone goes to Times Square in New York today, you'll see African Americans dressed in Israelite outfits and yelling at people saying, "You're not the real Jews, we're the real Jews." And so most people saying, "Well, you guys are kooky, you just made this whole thing up, you made up a religion and an identity." Actually, no, they are the blood descendants, most likely, of the people who, from Israel, were brought from Africa to America. So it's very fascinating.
The wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha in the 5th chapter talks about how Jacob, how the heathen is going to be amazed and confounded when they realize that the so-called black man is that chosen line.
In America, there was a slave trade. And a lot of the slaves, a very high percentage of them, came from Western Nigerian ports. And in America today, you see a very large movement of African Americans who say that they're the real chosen people, that they're the children of Israel, they're the Judeans. You know, so what are they just trying to create an identity for themselves because they were slaves, or is there really something here? And the answer is most likely there is something there. And most likely maybe that they were the original Israelites, and maybe that the Jewish people today who are white Caucasian people came in a little bit later on.
I just wanted to come to you to impart some knowledge onto you about who the true biblical Hebrew Israelites are. Bloodline-wise, they are the so-called African Americans.
Brothers and sisters, blacks of America, it's you. You are the true Hebrews. You are the true Hebrews from the Bible. America gonna do everything, gonna invest as much money as it has, gonna fight as much wars as they can, gonna invite as much weapons as they can just to hide this away from you. Gonna take Israel, gonna bring white people here and to tell you these are the Jews. Gonna kill you, gonna kill Arabs, gonna mistreat white people like this guy, just to tell you this lie that you are nobody and we are the Jews with all the history and so on. It has been deleted, your history. You don't know who you are. Don't forget about it. This is why, because America has been taking your history away, never to find out that it's all about you. I'm telling you this, please. I don't ask you to come to Israel and to start a revolution. I'm just asking you to start thinking this way, to believe me a little bit, because I'm living in Israel and I'm part of this injustice.
The Hebrew Israelites, God's chosen people, are what we call African American.
If you look in Exodus 13:3 and Deuteronomy 20 and verse 2, it refers to Egypt as the house of bondage. Now, I want to show you something, and I know everybody has seen this. I saw it a million times, but never paid any attention and never really thought twice about it. But on the back of the dollar bill, there's a pyramid. Now, pyramids are notorious with Egypt. I mean, you say pyramid, that's automatically what you think of is Egypt. So why would the United States of America put a pyramid on the back of their dollar bill? Now, with the word Egypt meaning house of bondage, God was obviously telling the Israelites, hey, I'm going to put you back into slavery. Now, the only race of people that were brought over on ships and sold as bondmen and bondwomen, which are slaves, are the so-called African Americans. That's the term that the white man has given them.
It was the Ashkenazi, the Islamic slave traders as well, that then worked together with the indigenous black Africans to enslave the regal house of Judah. This is what we've got to understand, but you've got to go back before the 16th century to understand the roots of it. So we're going to see as we dig into this where this slavery came from, because it was really a system that was very, very well crafted. There was Islamic masters and there were white Ashkenazi Khazar ship owners. There were the buyers and the sellers. And they're not going to fill you in on all of this, but really you've got a four-tier system. Number one, you have the Negro nomads that were exiled from the kingdom of Judah. Number two, you had indigenous black African hunters that resented the regal Negro nomads that had come into their territory with their own customs, with their own laws that were different and would not assimilate into their tribal culture. They were their own tribe. They were the regal house of Judah. And number three, you had Islamic trappers that worked with the indigenous black Africans to trap the regal Negro house of Judah. And then you had them sell them to the Ashkenazi ship merchants. Do you know how many blacks in America have been lost to Islam? It's outrageous. That's not your tribe. Your tribe is Judah. Muhammad's tribe enslaved you. Why would you convert to Muhammad's tribe when you're of King David's tribe?
Sub-Saharan West Africa is an interesting place, especially a little place called the Slave Coast, in which the slave traders called Negro land. As you can see, the area of the Slave Coast was called Wahida. And if you look right above it, in English are the words Kingdom of Judah. This is the port where the so-called African or Negro American was taken, also to the British Islands, South America, and Europe.
Man, oh man, I'm glad you put that last part in there, John Yehuda, Fire Talk Radio, because I was going to ask one of y'all brothers to pull it up on y'all computer. I'm going to put it up on here, man. But yeah, I wanted y'all to see that part definitely at the end. Y'all seen all the testimonies. We know you don't believe it until somebody white or other nations tell you. So we're going to give you niggas what you want to hear. We played the white man for you niggas. So now it's time for you to listen to us and go get all the damn truth in. We gave you the white man, the white woman. Some of them cried. You see tears come out of their eyes. They gave you the truth. You are the biblical Israelites. Now what? Now you must come back to what is your morals? What's your culture? Look, what is your true values? Because it's not what you've been learning. You have been learning the ways of the Gentiles. What do Christ, the Messiah, who we call Yahweh in Hebrew, tell you to do? Don't go into the ways of the Gentiles, because the ways of the Gentiles are vain. But I know Brother Zadok, man, I know Let's Talk Knowledge and Wisdom Radio. I know he want to get something off here, man. Go ahead, Brother Zadok. Let's Talk Knowledge and Wisdom Radio.
Yo, man. Hey, I just kind of been going off in the comment a little bit, man, just looking at these videos, man. You know, and like you said, man, you got the so-called white man, white woman up here, man, pouring their heart out, damn near crying, man. You know, Negroes gonna sit up there and listen to these folks, man. After, you know, we've been telling these, our people have been saying this, man, for a long time, man. You know, we ain't got to sit up here and listen to them like that. You just proving, oh yeah, the white man, he must be the God. Then he must be the truth bringer. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the only reason our people seem like they'll wake up, man, is off of something what the white man said. If the white man said it, it got to be true. So let me go ahead and convert. Let me go ahead and repent. You know, Mr. White Man said repent, so I'm gonna do it. Stiff neck and rebellious people, man. You know, but that's a powerful video right there, man, confirming, you know, something that we, you know, our people been bringing out and you know, bringing out to our people for a long time, man, that we are the real Jews, that we are, in fact, the chosen people of the Most High God, the firstborn, you know, the heir to the kingdom, man. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. You know, I really ain't got too much more to say on that, man. I'm just kind of listening in. I'll chime in when need be.
The gig is up, boy. And all you soft, poke chop, eating, coon, goddamn dressing, buck dancing, goddamn whipping your taskmasters, whipping your own nation of people. Fuck you. It's over.
Yeah, what's up, boy? Hey, I need that sound bite. It's up, boy.
It's up,
man. But listen, like they said, man, we don't need validation from the other nations. But what's significant about that is that we've been duped and hoodwinked into believing we're black and everything else, while the other nations know who we are. All that does is signify, when you read in Hosea chapter 1 to verse 10, I get that. It signifies that in the last days that this would take place. You know what I'm saying? All of this is just proven biblical prophecy. When you read in Hosea chapter 1 and verse 10, it says, yet the number of the children of Israel shall be as the sand of the sea, which cannot be measured nor numbered. And it shall come to pass that in the place where it was said unto them, ye are not my people, there it shall be said unto them, ye are the sons of the living God. Then shall the children of Judah and the children of Israel be gathered together and appoint themselves one head, and they shall come up out of the land, for great shall be the day of Jezreel. So we know that's a future prophecy, because we know right now the nation isn't united. the nation isn't united. So it's a prophecy that in the last days, they're going to know who we are. They're going to start proclaiming who we are by our blood right, by our name, not by these byword, not by any other name that was given by them, but by the name that was placed upon us by the Most High, the sovereign of Israel, the friend of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So we know this to be prophecy that's being fulfilled right now in these days. This is why it shows we in the last days. This is why it's very paramount for our people to wake up out of sleep, because the time is short. The time is so short that before you know it, you're going to be lost. You're going to be lost in the sauce because you're not listening. The Most High using these celebrities, these athletes, because they have the following. They have the viewership in order to get out. Whether they follow it or not, that's irrelevant. That's very irrelevant. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of people, you know, they harp on, oh, that brother, he don't live that life, or that brother don't do this or that. Listen, that's irrelevant. What you doing? What you doing with the information that's coming out? You know what I'm saying? Because the Most High is speaking to you through them. The Most High is reaching out to you through them. You don't follow what they doing. Everybody got to be accountable for their own actions.
Facts, man. Big facts, man. And do y'all want to get into proving to the word here? Because who we really talking to? We talking to all the ones that just not awakening. This is what this channel is about. This channel really is to get the ones that's not awakening and bring you in to the awakening. And we do it through multiple serious topics that's going on in our community. Just today, just a hot topic to say, hey, who is the real Israelites? Well, hell, baby, we've been telling you every week, but we've been feeding you medicine in the form of candy. But let's get into a little color here. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I ain't gonna hog all the features and colors and descriptions of these of the Israelites of Christ, who the world calls Christ, the Messiah, Yahushua, of the Most High God. Let's get into a couple of scriptures, brother. So what now?
No, go ahead, bro.
Okay. And I'm going to pull, man, hell, I'm going to just go to Revelations, man. You know what I'm saying? Let me go to the Yahushua, man. Matter of fact, no, I'm going to say one of that for y'all. I'm going to Jeremiah, man. Let me go to the book of Jeremiah, 14th chapter. And y'all that are awakening, y'all know what this is. 14th chapter, the 2nd verse. Now we seen where it says that most of the tribe of Judah, or the southern kingdom of Judah, which is Judah, Levi, and Benjamin, have come over here to the Americas. The majority, North America, but South America too. So we kind of scatter. You have Benjamin, Levi, and Judah, and you also have the other tribes. We don't really know which tribe we're from. You know what I'm saying? But we know that there's a high percentage that we're from the tribe of Judah, or at least from the southern kingdom, which is described as Judah because he's the head tribe of the southern kingdom. Ephraim will be the head tribe of the northern kingdom. But let's get this right here. Book of Jeremiah, the 14th chapter, the 2nd verse. Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. That means the leader. The leadership ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? We mourning. The leadership ain't nothing. We last higher first fire. We mourning, and the gates thereof languish. The leadership is poop. We don't have no real leaders. They buck dancing coons. They are black unto the ground. What color are they? They are black unto the ground. And the cry of Jerusalem is going up. Our prayers, our shouting out. Every time they put a damn knee on our neck and we die. Every time we shooting and killing each other. The mother's crying out. The father's crying out. Brothers and sisters crying out. This is serious, man. We're going to give you all these promises today. Yeah, we get your color. I mean, here, that don't describe who you niggas are. Well, let's get into a little bit more. Let me get the, I'm just going to go ahead and go. Let me see what I want to do here, man. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do Revelation. I'm gonna do Revelations. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna show y'all examples where we got mistaken for Egyptians. We know the Egyptians were Hamitic. They were dark-skinned people as well. But I'm gonna get into the book of Revelation because I know y'all love Jesus Christ. Y'all love Jesus. All the time. Jesus. All y'all do Jesus. So y'all, calling out his name gonna save you, or call out that Greek name anyway, no Savior. But let's see how he was described. Book of Revelations, the first chapter, verse 12 through 15. And I turned and see the voice that spake to me, and being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks. And in the midst of the 7 golden candlesticks, one like the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about his paps with a golden girdle. His head and his hairs were white like wool, white as snow. So this person got some white woolly hair. It says white like wool texture. Then it says white as snow. So this person got real woolly white hair. And his eyes were as a flame of fire. So this man has red eyes. He don't really have fire eyes. It's really not fireballs coming from his eyes, but his eyes is like a flame of fire. His eyes is red. We're going to get into it early in Genesis where Moses prophesies about Yahweh, the word called Jesus Christ, coming, and his eyes will be red with wine. Now, it says, his feet unto like fine brass. What color is brass? We already know, right? As if they burned in a furnace. Now it's telling you how really dark it is. So not only this is a black ass man with woolly white hair, and his voice the sounds of many waters. You know the Negroes got the deepest voice. We the Barry Whites, we the Zadoks. You know, so we the scorned black man. So we name anybody with a damn deep voice. We the deep voice people. You know what I'm saying? Yes, I could, because we bold like lions, but now, you know, we start to get a little twitch. We started, you know what I'm saying? We started to question our gender. We follow in the ways of the Gentiles. But, you know, I'm gonna let y'all boys get into some more, man, features. Doug and Huda, man, what about that? These features, you know what I'm saying, of these Israelites?
Yeah, I'm gonna get to the features, but I kind of want to show the audience, because like you said, you brought out some good points as far as how they look, their phenotype, looking like the Egyptians, and we already know on the walls of Kemet how the Egyptians look. There were various shades of brown from dark to light. You don't see anyone that is perceived to be a so-called white man or Caucasoid on the walls. So with that being said, the whole thing is, how is it we know that we are Israel, right? Because all of these things is prophesied, is recorded in history. Like he said earlier, archaeology, anthropology, so forth and so on. All the sciences prove that who we are. If we go to the book of Luke, like you said, you know, our people love so-called Jesus. Jesus. They love Jesus. But Hamashiach said that certain things will happen in the future, right? Certain things was going to befall our people. So when you go to the book of Luke, chapter 21, starting at verse 5, it says, and as some spake of the temple, how it was adorned with goodly stones and gifts, he said, as for these things which ye behold, and the days will come, in the which there shall be not left one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. So now the Hamashiach is giving a prophecy unto the apostles, because when you read further in other chapters and other books, they were very elated about the new temple, the temple that Herod had built. You know what I'm saying? They were very, very joyous about this temple, but Christ shut them down real quick. Like, listen, it's going to come a time when there's not one stone left of this temple. And he was making a prophecy of what was going to happen when Rome come and attack Jerusalem. So let's jump down to verse 20. And it says, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies. Now remember, Jerusalem was a vassal state of Rome at this time. We were tributaries unto the Roman kingdom. So the armies that he's speaking about are the Roman armies. Then know that the desolation thereof is not. Then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart, and let not them that are in the countries enter thereinto. For these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. But woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. For there shall be great distress in the land and wrath upon this people. And they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive into all nations. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So we see right here, this was the prophecy that was given by the Hamashiach to the apostles about what was going to take place, right? So let's go into the book Babylon, from Babylon to Timbuktu. This is the author Rudolph R. Windsor, and I quote, "In the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people." Now, when you read in the book of Flavius Josephus, you see that they put I believe it was a 7-year siege on Jerusalem. And in this midst, our rations, our resources ran out. It got to the point to where our people started doing cannibalism. You know what I'm saying? First of all, we was already battling amongst each other before Rome even got there. So then once Rome got there, they caught us with our pants down, rumbling with one another. There were different sects of Israelites battling one another. So then they besieged the city. And after that, they cut off all our rations, any supplies coming in and out. We stood strong for a period of time, but then after years of being besieged, we started running out of rations. So what happens is we started eating our people. That's even prophesied in Deuteronomy chapter 28. Let me grab that for you real quick. I want to just paint this picture of what transpired, because we know that most of our people, a large number of our people, came by way of transatlantic slave ships. So how did we get into those regions where they got the slaves? This is how we got into those regions due to that great war in 70 AD when Rome besieged Jerusalem. And so it tells you in Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 53, it says, "And thou shalt eat the fruit of thy own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Most High Yah have given thee in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil toward his brother and toward the wife of his bosom and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave." So right there, it tells you in the siege, our people was brought to a lower state to where they started to eat their own fruit, meaning their children. They had an evil eye towards one another, because when you get into a position of starvation, when you get into a position of desperation, you start seeing the animalistic features and qualities of people that you might not have known they had those things. So it also says that, "So that he will not give to any of them the flesh of his children who he shall eat, because he have nothing left in the siege and in the straitness wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee in all thy gates." So we see this taking place, right? This is the atrocities that Rudolph R. Windsor is quoting from Flavius Josephus that happened during the time of the 70 AD siege that took place. And so I continue, quote, "During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa, fleeing from Roman persecution and slavery. The slave markets were full of black Jewish slaves." So right there, we see that now we put a group of people from the Holy Land that's being cataloged by a contemporary of that time, which is Flavius Josephus, who himself was an Israelite, cataloging the atrocities and everything that took place with Israel during the Roman siege, and placing 1 million plus of these people now in the interior of Africa. Now we see our people in the interior of Africa. And like Brother Zadok said, we were always told to run into the mountains. That's why he told you right there in Luke, when I read, he said, run into the mountains. We can see the armies could pass. Why? Because we could blend in with the groups that's within Africa. We can blend in with the natural born Hamites, the Egyptians, right, like you said, which was Mizraim. You know what I'm saying? We could blend in with these people. So this is how you see our people now in a large number being placed or displaced within the interior of Africa.
And I'm glad you brought that out there, Luke 21:24. I was going to bring that out, but And I just want to limit back off that point, off that scripture. You see how and the brother went right over to Deuteronomy. He do exactly using the spirit, but I'm going to do the same thing and shows y'all where it happened over in where it was prophesied over in Deuteronomy 28th chapter. But now let's talk about how they did it. The brother said, we ran out of rations, ran out of stuff. They cut off the water supply. They cut us off, and then cut off the water supply. Now I want y'all Negroes to peep this. In every major city in the United States, they have everybody sectioned off, and it's divided up with what? Major freeways and highways and railroad tracks. They're going to cut your water off. They're going to cut you off with the railroad tracks, the major freeways. They got tanks and everything to close your ass off, railroad tracks. They're going to cut your damn water supply off. Then they're going to haul your ass inside those damn, what's the name, those box carts on the damn railroad tracks and ship your ass to the local concentration camp. They're going to be called FEMA camps. They're going to be the new concentration, the real concentration camp is going to be coming. You know what I'm saying? All that's prophesied. So if y'all listen out there, y'all never heard this before, keep on listening. I know it sounds interesting. It's going to get more interesting as we go along. You know what I'm saying? But let me bring out some more color for you. Because we know y'all Negroes are still probably out there, man. I don't know, man. You know, well, I gave you earlier a description of who you call Jesus Christ in Revelations chapter 1, verse 12 through 15. Let me give you the description of the Most High, who we call the Most High God. Some people may call this an angel, but the scriptures is quite simple, plain out and day. They're going to tell you exactly who it is. The book of, the book of Daniel's, chapter 7, verse 9. And I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit. Yes, the Most High does have a body. To be able to sit, he got to have an ass. Whose garments was white as snow. To have garments, he got to have a body. And the hairs on his head were like the pure wool. You know, he got a head. They go that woolly hair again. His throne was like the fiery flame because he was on a chariot. And his wheels were burning fire. There you go. What wheels are? Wheels are transportation. How we move around. They describe me using the words that they have. They don't have UFOs and cars. They didn't have that technology and those words then. They might have had the technology, better technology than we did probably now. Yeah, they were doing all kinds of stuff that we can't do now, that we can't even reverse technology. But yeah, and I'm gonna get let me also skip over to I'm staying in the same book of Daniel's, skip over to chapter 10, excuse me. Chapter 10, verse 5 and 6. And this is, some people say this is an angel, but we know this is to be Yahweh being prophesied in the Old Testament, who the world calls Jesus Christ, prophesied again. Then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of asphodel. His body also like a beryl, because he had a green garment on, beryl green, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes like the lamp of fire. There you go. There you go, with the red eyes. And his arms and feet like the color of polished brass. What is polished brass? Burnt brass. And his voice, and the voice of his words like the voice of the multitude. There you go, like that. Like I said in Revelations of loud thunder, his voice was very loud and deep. He talked like a man. Here it go again in Daniel's chapter 10, verse 5 and 6. We're gonna keep giving y'all, you know, everything y'all need to feed y'all, so y'all know that you are the Israelite. You are a special people. You know what I'm saying? And let me get that for you while I'm right here. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. What does the word holy mean? It don't mean, hey, oh, I'm holy, I feel good. Oh, I'm sanctified, I'm holding the mouth, I'm shouting, oh, hallelujah, oh. That ain't holy. Holy means set apart. The word holy in the Bible means set apart. Set apart from who? Set apart from the other nations. The Israelites are always going to be set apart. What we mean by set apart, don't go into the ways of the Gentiles. Don't be following the pagan holidays. Don't eat their food. Don't do their culture. You're only to be hospitable with them and do trades, the barter system. But let me get back to this. For thou art a holy people to the Lord thy God. For the Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. That's what holy is. Above, see, y'all don't like this part. Above all people upon the face of the earth. You Negroes can't dig it. You don't want to be above all people upon the face of the earth. You want to be below them and take orders, and then you want them to accept them. You want them to accept them and treat you equal, but you still want to act like a little boy and a little girl and demand that respect. But you can't demand respect because you're so scared. You're like a damn child. I told you, all you Negroes, we have Stockholm syndrome. That's when the kidnapper kidnap a person, hold them for ransom for years or however long, let them go, and the person that was kidnapped sympathize with the kidnapper. They don't want to testify. They don't want to press charges. They don't want to even kill the person. They don't want to do nothing. They feel like it's their fault. They feel like the person did them justice. You see how real these scriptures is? These scriptures are very, very, very real. Now, Brother Daniel Huda had made a point when he talked about how we would go to, how we fled out in 70 AD and shot to the mountains of Africa. We always did that. We see back at with Joshua. We see with Mary told Christ. I hope Daniel Huda's a doctor. Somebody get that scripture right there where they had to flee to Egypt. Most High sent them. But I'm gonna give y'all Paul. I'm gonna get the book of Acts here. This is gonna be my last scripture for right now. I'm gonna pass it on to one of the other brothers. We just want to kind of beat into y'all head, you know what I'm saying, who you are according to the Bible, you know what I'm saying, give y'all the proof according to history. And it goes a little something like this. Acts, the book of Acts, 21st chapter, verse 37 through 39th verse. And as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, may I speak unto thee? Who said, canst thou speak Greek? Art not thou that Egyptian which before these days made it an uproar and led it out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers? But Paul said, I am a man which I am a Jew of Tyrus, the city of Sicilia, a citizen of no mean city, and I bleach thee. Suffer me to speak unto the people. So the man, the whole point was verse 38, where the dude thought he was Paul had to know, because he thought Paul was an Egyptian. What color are Egyptians? We know that in the movies, what was the movie they had out not too long ago? The Gods of Egypt or something like that. They played all honkies played them.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Right. But the Egyptians were not honkies. You know what I'm saying? As you know, they was Negroid color. They were melanated people. When you look on those walls inside there, you will see them having someone in slavery. Another melanated nation of people. That was our people. That was the Israelites. One melanated nation of people having another melanated nation of people in captivity, because we're two different nations of people. But I'm gonna get on that. I'm gonna pass it to the brothers of Doc. Brothers of Doc, what you got over there? He might have stepped away. But Brother Doug Yehuda, what's going on?
Yeah, so basically, once again, just going back to that, you know, it's beautiful that you're showing the color scheme of Israel, right? Because it all plays hand in hand with not just how they look, because if they looked at different than the indigenous peoples within those areas, then it'd be easy for our enemies to have picked us out and destroyed us. So by you showing the world that, okay, we were a melanated people, we looked like the Egyptian, we were mistaken for the Egyptians. You know what I'm saying? We fled into Egypt and to surrounding areas in times of trouble. You know what I'm saying? By you mentioning that Mary and Joseph had to take Christ into the mountains to flee because Herod was killing all the children 2 and under. You know what I'm saying? So we see that these things took place because they can blend in with the indigenous people of the area. So that goes hand in hand with what I was showing you, that over 1 million Jews fled into these regions during the time of 70 AD and after, due to Rome destroying the temple in the city of Jerusalem. Now we have to think what took place, because it wasn't peaches and cream, it wasn't rainbows and sunflowers once they got over into Africa. You have to know that when you come over there, 1 million plus people, that's a lot of people. If you remember when Farrakhan called for the Million Man March and they panned out over Washington, that looked like a sea of our people out there. So imagine if you have 1 million plus people migrating into your territory. It's not going to be something that the indigenous people of those areas is going to just happily accept. You understand what I'm saying? So now we have to look into what took place. What started building into how did we become who we are over here if everything is over on the eastern side of the hemisphere? So it says, I'm going to read out of the book in question, right? The book in question is Hebrews to Negroes, Wake Up Black America, right? This is page 62. And it says, these black Jews that lived in Arabia predate before 600 AD, when the Islamic Empire first arrived on the scene in the Middle East and Arabia to conquer the land of the black Arab black Jews. The Muslims will ultimately gain victory over the Israelites' land and over the black Hebrew Israelites living there in the Battle of Khaybar. The Jews, Hebrew Israelites, living in Arabia during this time were not European Ashkenazi Jews, because the European Khazars had yet to convert to the religion of Judaism. The Muslims would kill, enslave, and scatter these African Arabian black Jews, which are Hebrew Israelites, as evident in the Arab slave trade. So a lot of our people are not even knowledgeable about the Arab slave trade or the Indian Ocean slave trade. All we're taught, like I mentioned earlier, is the 1700s of you coming over here by way of the transatlantic slave trade. But there was other slave trades that predate the transatlantic slave trade. The transatlantic slave trade was actually the last of the slave trades that was going on. And to top this, the Arab slave trade is still going on to this day. Our people are still being sold into slavery over there, with Arabia being one of the main proponents of buying and selling Negro slaves. But I digress. Let me continue. That took place during this time. The Quran talks about the success of the Muslims in seizing the Hebrews' land and the victory over the people of the book. This parallels the prophecy of the curse of Israel listed in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 15 through 68. So he's making that comparison that, you know, our people, once we got over there, because there was a thing to where Islam took over and Islam spread across all of what is now called the Middle East and Northern Africa, right? And so in that time frame, during Muhammad and his followers, the Muslims going over there, you either had to convert or die by the sword. That's all it was. That was your choice. You either convert or die by the sword. So a lot of our people converted. Now, mind you, we're still also living amongst Hamitic nations. You understand what I'm saying? So now, not only are we dealing with the Arabs, we're dealing with the Hamites. So these slave trades that took place before even the so-called white man came over and got us. This took place amongst our brothers, which you go back into Psalms chapter 83, the Confederacy that the brother brought out earlier, right? All of this is all biblical. It's all prophetic. It's showing you. And I'm trying to piece together just on the fly the historicity and the scriptural aspect of what happened and what took place. So in Psalms 83, it says, keep not thou silence, O Most High. Hold not thy peace and be not still, O Yah. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. Who's the hidden ones? We're the hidden ones. We were in the interior Africa, hiding from the Roman kingdom, who had just destroyed our city, just destroyed our temple. We had nothing left. Everything was tied into the temple. Everything that Israel had was tied into the temple. That was our power base. That's where the ebb and flow and the day-to-day commerce and everything else, your connection to the Most High took place. So once that was destroyed, we became the hidden ones. Why? Because we fled. The ones of us that didn't get captured and didn't fall to the sword, we fled into Africa and even other parts of Asia, and possibly even migrated into some parts of the north. And so it says in verse 4, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. How did they do that? This is when we start getting into these various slave trades. We start getting into these various slave trades, like the Arab slave trade. The Arab slave trade is by far the worst slave trade that we've been in, because not only did it start out before the transatlantic slave trade, it lasted longer than the transatlantic slave trade, and it's still going on to this day. Matter of fact, let me see. I'm going to pull where it says how long it actually took place. The Arab slave trade took place for about 1,500 years at that time. It said the Arab slave trade, and this is out the book of Hebrews the Negroes, Wake Up Black America, page 228. The Arab slave trade had lasted for over 1,500 years and still continues till today. The Arab slave trade of blacks started almost 1,000 years before the transatlantic slave trade. So now we see a time frame. They were already dispersing our people. That was the beginning of us being spread across the four corners of the earth. So it says, they have said, come let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites. Once again, the Arab slave trade, the Ishmaelites. And when you go deeper into looking into the history and the geographical locations, Arab is a broad word. Arab doesn't really denote a nationality. For some, it does, that came from that region, but all it means is mixture. And when you look into that, you see that the Edomites, the Ishmaelites, and the Midianites all lived in the same areas, and they were all known as Arabs. They were all known as Arabs. I'll pull that up later. I don't have that in front of me. And so it says, and the Ishmaelites of Moab and the Hagarenes, Gebal and Ammon and Amalek, the Philistines and the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot. So this was the beginning of us being taken out of the remembrance of who we are. Because when you start stripping the people of their heritage, when you start stripping the people of their customs, you know, of their observance of their high holy days, of their dietary law, their civil law, their moral laws, and everything in between, now the people forget who they are over time. And when you do further research, they didn't take our elders in many cases. They separated the children from us and they shipped them off. And they either enslaved or killed the elders. So that way that knowledge wasn't passed down to our children. So now our children are being raised up in these different environments and this different slavery, being taught a different thing and not knowing their history, not knowing where they come from. This is how you get into a deep amnesia and forgetting who your people is, which was prophesied to Jeremiah in 17:4. This is how you forget who you are as a nation. This is how they said we're going to make them be no longer remembered as Israel. This is how you forget. If you got elders there that know what's going on, you're not going to forget because you got the oral tradition. But as long as the oral tradition and the elders gone, you don't know nothing.
Man, y'all, we don't lost the memory. See, you said something very important. They didn't take the elders. They didn't take the elders. You can't take his memory away from him. But how you strip the whole nation, you take the damn kids and you separate them from the adults. Now, some of these adults was getting away, like Gabriel Prosser, born in 1776, and he died in 1800. They killed him at 24 years old. So you know what I'm saying? As soon as he was born, as soon as he died in 1800, Nat Turner was born. Now these were revolutionary men. See, Nat Turner, he found out because just through word of mouth or reading the Bible. But Gabriel Prosser had learned from an older, you know what I'm saying, an older slave. So we never, the name of Israel didn't go out all the way. There was still few. You know what I'm saying? They were passing down the generations. But as they take these kids away from the adults and separate us, then with somebody else now. Now the kids and the babies are taught something totally different language. They're taught who they are. They're taught a fake history, fake culture, fake every damn thing. And they take our paintings, our code, you know what I'm saying, and they would change our images. And let me get that. First Maccabees, the 3rd chapter, verse 48. This was when we was in the Greek captivity. You was in the Greek captivity. See, they take that out through the Apocrypha. The Apocrypha go between the Old Testament, New Testament, but some of those books was Old Testament, some of those books were New Testament. But the Greek captivity, First Maccabees, 3rd chapter, 48 verse. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. They took all our books and painted Christ white. Yeah, you see everybody white now. The Most High God white, the angels white, all the disciples, all the Israelites, all, you know what I'm saying, all the Egyptians, the Babylonians, the Assyrians, the Persians. Hell, they don't white it out the damn Ishmaelite. The Arabs is white now. Moab, he's white. Ain't them, they white. Damn. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? So this is why when we say they steal everything. The book of Obadiah tell you they can't steal till they say steal enough, man. You know, this is really still a stolen identity. This is the most worst case of stolen identity is. You know how it is when somebody stole your credit card or something, or you get a bill in the mail from a hospital, like, man, I ain't never been in that state, that city, or that hospital. It's a stolen identity. But this is the damn biggest stolen identity of the world. This is the biggest lie of the world. Unless they can prove man never been on the moon. You know, unless they can prove that, this is the biggest lie of the world, or biggest cahoots of the world. You know, you got, you know, some rabbis like y'all seen earlier, Rabbi Harry Rosenberg, you know, he'll say, you know, that we are Jews too. Kind of like what you'll hear from Kanye, you know, we are, they're not. And it's okay if they were, you know, I would set them with open arms. Okay, Most High made some white Israelites, you know, like that too. Okay, cool. You know, but I don't see it. Who bodies look like they made for war? We ain't talking about shooting missiles from goddamn hundreds and thousands of miles a damn way. You know, we talking about close hand-to-hand combat, swords and wrestling, snapping necks and breaking arms, plucking eyes out, chopping heads off. Who are they more physically and more athletically capable of doing that? I think you Negroes know. Once again, you Negroes are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
Now, Brother Zadok, man, I forgot I had something to ask Brother Zadok earlier. Man, but you want to chime in on something, Brother Zadok, real quick? You want to break some scriptures out? Man, you got some scriptures in there, brother.
Man, I've been sitting back listening, man. Brother Don Yehuda, man, all scholarly up in here, man.
Yeah, he old Zion Lex ass.
Right.
Hey, man, hey, I like to bring that out because a lot of people they don't believe in the Bible. A lot of our people don't believe in the Bible, so you have to have something else to give them to bring them right on in.
Yeah, all praises, man. I dig it, man. I dig it. I'm sitting back there just soaking it up. But yeah, man. Go ahead, brother. No, our people, man, you know, we just all praises for all of this, man. Our people need to know what's going on out here, man, and you know, studying to show yourself approved unto the Most High, man, is the ticket, man. You know, I mean, a lot of our people don't like to read. You know, we in the age of information. I believe we did a show like that a little bit back, man. But we in the age of information. Why do you remain dumb? You know what I'm saying? Why do our people remain dumb when you have a plethora of information at your fingertips? And not only that, man, this is scrolling and what do you call it? And being viral, man, and all of that all across these social medias that our people, you know, are waking up. And, you know, I know a lot of books are being opened. You have the Hebrews to Negroes book right now that's selling off the shelf now. And a lot of people are starting to realize, but you read all you want, you know what I'm saying? Actions are weighed. You know, our people, not only you need to find out who you are, but it's not just finding out who you are, learning who you are. There's action behind it. You know what I'm saying? There's a mindset now that must, you know, enter in, and you have to bring it forth. And you have to show it. Okay, you know, you're not a Negro no more. You're Hebrew, you're Israelite, you are the real Jew. Okay, then now you must walk like it. You must talk like it. Now we must come together and unify. I know a lot of us talk about unifying and being in unity, but it's an action. Stop buying into the system. Literally. Start spending your money in these Black-owned businesses, man, and lifting up your nation that way and shut down this system. We can do it, but we have become too attached to the delicacies, man, to the you know, the sights, sounds, and smells of Babylon up in here, man, of America, right? And we got to come. That's how we can shut it down, but we are too afraid. You got these Negroes up here, man, playing ball. And these football players and basketball players, right? And they acting like they can't put their money together, man, and build their own arena and get their own sports broadcasting team. You know what I'm saying? And we have more fans than any. Oh, if the other nations want to join in as fans, great. But we could show them, and we could do this on our own. We don't need we don't need the sports broadcasters and the NBC and this, that, and the third. You know, hell, we sit here, we broadcasting right now on YouTube, man. You don't need NBC. Right. You don't need, you know, and Negroes to sit around and watch that, you know, if they so please. But we too afraid to break off the chain. There's a chain, no longer shackles around our feet and hands. It's on the minds of our people. And the key is right there to unlock that chain off of the brain, but we're too lazy to reach down and grab the key and unlock the chains from off the brain, man, off your mindset. You got to change your mindset. And that's the key. But we just got to keep pushing, you know, like we do these platforms, or like other brothers, you know, and sisters get on their platforms and bring this information out, you know, and continue to let our people know and exhort them. Daily exhortation, man. You know what I mean? Let them know they can break out of it. But I just pray it ain't too late, because Jacob trouble gonna come regardless of you know, we come together and build this and build that, you know, things are going to be destroyed, man, you know, and, you know, it's time to flee, get up out of here, you know, but first, like I said, I just keep repeating, man, the mindset has to change for anything else to change, man, within our communities, man.
Right, man. And you hit it on point, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just don't, the lack of knowledge that we have, because it has been hid. A lot of knowledge has been hid from us, and then a lot of it is just on us because now our minds have been destroyed. We've been indoctrinated through music, through reality shows, through social media, through you know, a bunch of bullshit that have our minds occupied. And rather than trying to seek truth, you know, rather than trying to seek the truth, you know, who are you? Just seek truth, period, on all levels, you know. And All that's prophesied in the Bible. Don't we telling y'all? We are the Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. We are the 12 tribes of Israel, the children of Israel. Book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. See, the Most High going to keep telling us that we reject knowledge. So as we reject the knowledge and reject him, he gonna reject us. So now that's why you're going through the damn shit that you go through. Because you don't want the knowledge and not to go through the shit, and you don't want to do right anyway. You reject knowledge and you reject the Most High. So the Most High said he's gonna reject thee. So he said, I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children. There you go. That's how we go to captivity. This is why we go through the punishment. This is why the white supremacy is on your neck. This is why the black man and black woman can't come together. This is why the black communities can't come together. This is why the black community don't want to separate from these pagan holidays and pagan ways and pagan culture and get our own, seek our own culture back, our own heritage back. Now, another reason, let me skip down. I'm still stay in chapter Hosea, the 4th chapter, but I'm gonna skip down to verse 12. My people ask counsel at their stocks. You ask counsel from everybody else. You want to go to the psychiatrist, the white man. And their staff declares unto them, for the spirit of whoredoms have caused them to error. Those rap songs, you go to rap songs. You go to the bad bitch in the neighborhood and seek her counsel. She tell you to suck 1,000 dicks and eat pussy whole. The man tell you to go out here and be a whore, be a dick dumping demon, be a killing machine, a cap pillar. Like Don Hughes say, when they peel your card back, they're gonna say, "Made in America, Babylon, the Matrix."
Right.
It caused them to error, and they have gone a whoring from under their God. There you go. Y'all wonder why I keep talking about, all this, this sexual stuff, and I say it the way I say it because it's right here in the scriptures. You think they were saying it in a nice way? You think these words offend you? I'm like, Bo, do these words offend you? Seek the hey, don't let the words offend you. You know what I'm saying? Let the knowledge hit you. Let the knowledge hit you. You go on a whoring, man. You a sex demon. You know what I'm saying? You an atheist. You this, you that. You everything but the child of Israel, children of Israel. You everything but the child of the Most High God. You call yourself a child of God, but you got that white man headed you got a white man face in your head. And I just read with you the first Maccabees, the 3rd chapter, 48th verse, that they took our images and repaint. They got the books. We got the books. Hundreds and thousands of dollars of goddamn, books that cost, bands. These books cost bands per book. Showing you them sitting down and repainting it. They're showing the black one, the original one, and then they're showing them looking at the original one and painting the white ones.
Facts, man. Yeah.
Boy, the brainwashing.
Yep.
The brainwashing of this thing, man. The brainwashing is deep. It's deep, man. And before we get into, because I want to hit some curses, and we already hit some of them of Deuteronomy 28th chapter. I do want to hit a little bit of this little video I seen. I'll probably hit like about a couple of little minutes. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. But yeah, man, this is a shame. But y'all do me a favor out there. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. Share this video with people. You know what I'm saying? With our people. Share with the world. Share with your white friends, your Chinese friends, your Asian friends, your Arab friends. Share with everybody. You know what I'm saying? This must get out. But let me shameless plug.
Yeah, go over to my Ox YouTube channel. Let's Talk Knowledge of Wisdom by Sadat. Definitely go over there, subscribe to the channel. like the shorts and the videos, and share. Also go to Mindfire Talk Radio Podcast, hosted by your Op, Don Yehuda. Definitely go like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And you already here on the Scoring Black Man Podcast. Definitely subscribe, like, and share to the channel. We appreciate it.
Of all the people and nations in the world, Yah Elohim chose Israel as a personal treasure, as it is written in the book of Psalms. For Yah has chosen Jacob for himself, Israel for his own special treasure. So much did Yah love the people of Israel that he led them out of Egypt with all manner of signs and wonders and made a special covenant with them. If the people of Israel had kept that covenant, they would have remained a peculiar treasure to Yah throughout all time and would never have suffered the curses that came with it. The particulars of that covenant are covered in Exodus chapters 20 to 23, and they include the Ten Commandments as well as other instructions and regulations from Yah. This series will cover the results of Israel's disobedience and the fate of the present-day people of Israel, the Black Hebrew Israelites, who are still scattered throughout the world. This message is solely for them. Then Yah instructed Moses, "Come up here to me and bring along Aaron, Nadab, Abihu, and 70 of Israel's elders. All of you must worship from a distance. Only Moses is allowed to come near to Yah. The others must not come near, and none of the other people are allowed to climb up the mountain with him." Then Moses went down to the people and repeated all the instructions and regulations Yah had given him. All the people answered with one voice, "We will do everything Yah has commanded." Then Moses carefully wrote down all Yah's instructions. Early the next morning, Moses got up and built an altar at the foot of the mountain. He also set up 12 pillars, one for each of the 12 tribes of Israel. Then he sent some of the young Israelite men to present burnt offerings and to sacrifice bulls as peace offerings to Yah. Moses drained half the blood from these animals into basins. The other half he splattered against the altar. Then he took the book of the covenant and read it aloud to the people. Again they all responded, "We will do everything Yah has commanded. We will obey." After the people of Israel agreed to the covenant and its conditions, Moses reaffirmed the blessings and curses that would come with either their obedience or disobedience to Yah. The full list of these blessings and curses are covered in Deuteronomy chapter 28. It is in this book and chapter that we can clearly see who the people of Israel were, based on the curses their descendants would suffer at the hands of their enemies. But if you refuse to listen to Yah your Elohim and do not obey all the commands and decrees I am giving you today, all these curses will come and overwhelm you. Your towns and your fields will be cursed. Your fruit baskets and breadboards will be cursed. Your children and your crops will be cursed. The offspring of your herds and flocks will be cursed. Wherever you go and whatever you do, you will be cursed. Yah himself will send on you curses, confusion, and frustration in everything you do, until at last you are completely destroyed for doing evil and abandoning me. Yah will afflict you with diseases until none of you are left in the land you are about to enter and occupy. Yah will strike you with wasting diseases, fever and inflammation, with scorching heat and drought, and with blight and mildew. These disasters will pursue you until you die. The skies above will be as unyielding as bronze, and the earth beneath will be as hard as iron. Yah will change the rain that falls on your head into powder, and dust will pour down from the sky until you are destroyed. Yah will cause you to be defeated by your enemies. You will attack your enemies from one direction, but you will scatter from them in 7. You will be an object of horror to all the kingdoms of the earth. Your corpses will be food for all the scavenging birds and wild animals, and no one will be there to chase them away. Yah will afflict you with the boils of Egypt, and with tumors, scurvy, and the itch from which you cannot be cured. Yah will strike you with madness, blindness, and panic. You will grope around in broad daylight like a blind person groping in the darkness, but you will not find your way. You will be oppressed and robbed continually. and no one will come to save you. You will be engaged to a woman, but another man will sleep with her. You will build a house, but someone else will live in it. You will plant a vineyard, but you will never enjoy its fruit. Your ox will be butchered before your eyes, but you will not eat a single bite of the meat. Your donkey will be taken from you, never to be returned. Your sheep and goats will be given to your enemies, and no one will be there to help you. You will watch as your sons and daughters are taken away as slaves. Your heart will break for them, but you won't be able to help them. A foreign nation you have never heard about will eat the crops you work so hard to grow. You will suffer under constant oppression and harsh treatment. You will go mad because of all the tragedy you see around you. Yah will cover your knees and legs with incurable boils. In fact, you will be covered from head to foot. Yah will exile you and your king to a nation unknown to you and your ancestors. There in exile you will worship deities of wood and stone. You will become an object of horror, ridicule, and mockery among all the nations to which Yah sends you. You will plant much, but harvest little, for locusts will eat your crops. You will plant vineyards and care for them, but you will not drink the wine or eat the grapes, for worms will destroy the vines. You will grow olive trees throughout your land, but you will never use the olive oil, for the fruit will drop before it ripens. You will have sons and daughters, but you will lose them, for they will be led away into captivity. Swarms of insects will destroy your trees and crops. The foreigners living among you will become stronger and stronger, while you become weaker and weaker. They will lend money to you, but you will not lend to them. They will be the head, and you will be the tail. If you refuse to listen to Yah your Elohim and to obey the commands and decrees he has given you, all these curses will pursue and overtake you until you are destroyed. The horrors will serve as a sign and warning among you and your descendants forever. If you do not serve Yah your Elohim with joy and enthusiasm for the abundant benefits you have received, you will serve your enemies whom Yah will send against you. You will be left hungry, thirsty, naked, and lacking in everything. Yah will put an iron yoke on your neck, oppressing you harshly until he has destroyed you. Yah will bring a distant nation against you from the end of the earth, and it will swoop down on you like a vulture. It is a nation whose language you do not understand, a fierce and heartless nation that shows no respect for the old and no pity for the young. Its armies will devour your livestock and crops, and you will be destroyed. They will leave you no grain, new wine, olive oil, calves, or lambs, and you will starve to death. They will attack your cities until the fortified walls in your land, the walls you trusted to protect you, are knocked down. They will attack all the towns in the land Yah your Elohim has given you. The siege and terrible distress of the enemy's attack will be so severe that you will eat the flesh of your own sons and daughters whom Yah your Elohim has given you. The most tender-hearted man among you will have no compassion for his own brother, his beloved wife, and his surviving children. He will refuse to share with them the flesh he is devouring, the flesh of one of his own children, because he has nothing else to eat during the siege and terrible distress that your enemy will inflict on all your towns. The most tender and delicate woman among you, so delicate she would not so much as touch the ground with her foot, will be selfish toward her husband she loves and toward her own son or daughter. She will hide from them the afterbirth and the new baby she has born, so that she herself can secretly eat them. She will have nothing else to eat during the siege and terrible distress that your enemy will inflict on all your towns. If you refuse to obey all the words of instruction that are written in this book, and if you do not fear the glorious and awesome name of Yah your Elohim, then Yah will overwhelm you and your children with indescribable plagues. These plagues will be intense and without relief, making you miserable and unbearably sick. He will afflict you with all the diseases of Egypt that you feared so much, and you will have no relief. Yah will afflict you with every sickness and plague there is, even those not mentioned in this book of instruction, until you are destroyed. Though you become as numerous as the stars in the sky, few of you will be left because you would not listen to Yah your Elohim. Just as Yah has found great pleasure in causing you to prosper and multiply, Yah will find pleasure in destroying you. You will be torn from the land you are about to enter and occupy, for Yah will scatter you among all the nations from one end of the earth to the other. There you will worship foreign deities that neither you nor your ancestors have known, deities made of wood and stone. There among those nations you will find no peace or place to rest, and Yah will cause your heart to tremble, your eyesight to fail, and your soul to despair. Your life will constantly hang in the balance. You will live night and day in fear, unsure if you will survive. In the morning you will say, if only it were night. And in the evening you will say, if only it were morning. For you will be terrified by the awful horrors you see around you. Then Yah will send you back to Egypt in ships, to a destination I promised you would never see again. There you will offer to sell yourselves to your enemies as slaves, but no one will buy or redeem you.
Con, that
Man,
brought out.
hey, man, you know, I never did really watch that all the way through until now. You know what I'm saying? I watched the other one, but hey, I'm glad, you know what I'm saying, because yeah, that saved us from really having to just read the whole book to him. He read it, get the pictures to the side and show you these curses are real, man. This book is real. This is our history book. You know what I'm saying? What stands out to you, brothers? Because we know all us up here, we know these, you know, Deuteronomy 28 chapter. We know this Bible, we damn sure know Deuteronomy 28 chapter. But, you know, like what you went into earlier, you know, talking about, you know, like when the Romans, when, you know, we had to eat the old folks, eat the elders, but we eating the babies too, eating our babies in these captivities. When they, you know what I'm saying? Because in the Babylonian, they cut the water off too on us.
Yeah, we was doing cannibalism in the Babylonian captivity too.
Good. That's how Rome knew how to damn knew, hey man, let's cut this water off, man. Here, the Babylonians been did this years ago to the ass. You know what I'm saying? You cut the water off, that's common sense. You cut that water supply off and the food supply and have them surrounded about when they can't go out and get, it's over. Once everything run out.
Hey, you know what you said earlier about the cities, right? Like how they got control of our resources, the food stores, the grocery stores, the restaurants, the water supply, the electric company, all of that stuff we depended upon, right? So you just saying that and bringing it up earlier show that it's not far-fetched for that to happen to us again. When you read in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48, it says, moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee and shall pursue thee and overtake thee till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Most High Yah to keep his commandments and his statute which he commanded thee. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So we know that these curses, as long as we stay in sin, they become repetitive. You know what I'm saying? For every generation, it's a repeat. You know what I'm saying? It's a scratch in the record. It's gonna repeat over and over again until we get it right. So it's not far-fetched that if they was to close the grocery stores, shut off the water, you know what I'm saying? Shut off your electricity. Like right now here in Erie, we had a snowstorm. They shut off that electricity. Negroes freezing to death. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know how to go down, cut some trees and burn some wood.
Hell yeah.
So you'll be left to doing some animalistic type of shit, man. You'll do some things and you'll see people do things that you never would have thought in a million years that you'd have been seeing them do.
And this the whole thing. All this is documented in other history books. These things really happen. The Bible is not a religious book. Let us tell our people this right here, right now. The Bible is not a religious book. It's a history book full of prophecies of the past, present, and soon to come future. Also, a book of laws and commandments and judgments for not keeping those laws and commandments.
Mm-hmm.
That's simply it. A history book with prophecies of the past, present, and future, with laws and commandments and judgments for not keeping the laws and commandments. Brothers, brothers, like,
yes, sir.
What jumps out with you? Deuteronomy 28 chapter, you know, that's the kicker, man. That's the line and sinker, man. When people ask me, what do I start off at? What do I want to start in the Bible? I say, let's go to Deuteronomy 28 chapter. Read verse 1 through 14, but, you know, you're going to see quickly with that, you know, we didn't do none of that, but 15 through 68 is going to be the kicker.
Right.
I mean, from everything of how the black man was going to lead the black woman will lead the black man. They're going to hate the kids, hate each other. You know what I'm saying? Hate the future kids. They hate the future ones that she's going to bear. She already want to abort. she wanted to get an abortion. She already knowing right now, I get pregnant, I'm getting an abortion. I get pregnant, I'm gonna get that baby away.
And mad about it when they said you can't get it.
And mad as hell. My body. I should be able to do what I want to do with my body. Nobody should tell a woman what to do with her body.
Well, shit.
I think they should make every one of those women, you know, and men that consent to it. And I say this because I'm a perpetrator of that. I've done that before, so I can speak from a place of empathy and knowledge. It ain't like I'm just trying to come down on somebody who hasn't done it. I've paid for an abortion or two before. So people that do these things, you know what I'm saying? They should be made to see what it's like. They should be made to do it. You want to boy, you go in there with the instrument and you carve that baby out of her stomach. And let's see how many brothers and sisters gonna go for that. Let's see if you're gonna go through with the abortion.
Right.
Right. Man.
But brother Zadok, what jumps out to you? You know, what is Deuteronomy 28 chapter, man? I mean, you know, like I say, that's the like major chapter of scriptures that, you know, that just reel you in and like, oh, okay.
Yeah. In Deuteronomy 28 and verse 65, really hits home, or should hit home. It does hit home for me, and it should hit home for a lot of our brothers and sisters, man, who just love America so much, or want to settle down and become very content, right? With you know, everything that's going on and what they have, their possessions and things. Listen, and among these nations shall thou find no ease. Right? You're not going to find no ease among these nations. And I don't care where you go in this world. I don't care if you say I'm moving to Thailand. I don't care if you say I'm moving to Susa, wherever you want to call it. Wherever you want to go and move around this world, the four corners of this earth, you ain't going to find no ease amongst these nations. Neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, and failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind, right? Because no matter what we do as a nation of people, if we ain't under the guise of the commandments, we ain't keeping the commandments, right? We're not adhering to the laws. We're not going to find no ease. These other nations ain't going to ease up on you, man, right? They're not going to, you're going to fear for your life wherever you go, because, you know, we considered the minority, right? But really on this earth, we know that melanated people are the majority of the people on this planet. I'm not saying that all of these people that have, because you melanated, you're an Israelite, right? But we outnumber the non-melanated versus the melanated. When the melanated outnumbers them, we know that. But wherever we go, there it says thy foot shall have no rest, because we cannot build our buildings. We can't establish our temple nowhere. Our congregations and things of that nature. We got to be hush hush. That's not, there's no ease there. There's no rest there. You understand? It says also that the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart. How many times you Negroes and roll down the street, you ain't doing nothing. You see sirens flash, you buckling your seatbelt, you wondering in your back of your mind as you riding dirty, knowing damn well you probably ain't. You could be pulled over, snatched out of your car at any given moment, man. That ain't happening to the Chinese man, the Arab man, the East Indian man, or the so-called white man.
Right.
So we in a place where we're not at ease. We trembling, right? We have a trembling heart, and are failing of eyes, and sorrow of mind. Because we never know if we got a loved one, you got a young daughter or son, you send them out driving or something, you have a sorrowful mind. You don't know if they're gonna make it home, or whatever event they might be going to. You never know if they're coming home, right? Into the hands of these enemies, man, and these other nations. It just said that among, right, these nations. Now, unfortunately, you know, the tables seem to have turned a bit, and we seem to have to be worrying about our own people, because we know a lot of places where we go to in these events, we ain't really worried about the so-called white man. You right? You worried about your own people. You go out to a club, you go out to have a good time, and a fight break out, it's your own people. That's a curse. You go up to the ATM, you looking over your shoulder, you're not looking for Wing Wong and ping ponging them to damn sit there and rob you. You looking out for Marquise, man, and Jamel about to bop you upside the head and take your damn money, man.
Lil Cam,
yeah, Lil this and Lil that about to rob you, man. So we not at ease amongst our own nation, also, man. You know,
right?
You know, so it's just Deuteronomy 28, 15 on down through 68. If a Negro can't get that and understand that, listen, that means that you might be unfaithful. I'm gonna get one more precept in Second Esdras chapter 15. It says, "For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness." I hope a lot of people that's listening in, man, that may not be on here for the first time, man, you might want to get faithful, right, under the Most High, man, because he said all the unfaithful, right, the ones not keeping the commandments, right. He said you're gonna die in your unfaithfulness. Behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the world. The sword, right? The sword. Now, white man, when these things happen, because this is future, this is prophetic. When this happen, nobody's going to be wielding around a medieval sword. We're talking guns. We're talking weaponry, man. Modern day weaponry. When it says famine, we're talking about, like the brother Don Yuda says, these stores shutting down, right? They shutting off the water supply, shutting off the trucks, shutting down on the highway, ain't delivering nothing, right? It says, and what comes with a famine when you ain't eating? Death. It says death and destruction. What's that destruction? All out anarchy, man. People trying to break in your house, take your rice, take your beans, take your water, take your weapons. Right? These things are coming upon the earth, whether you agree with it or not. The Most High don't give a damn. It's happening. It's going to come to pass.
That's
it.
Definitely. We're going to get into the race wars and all that. We're probably going to do a part 2 of this. We're going to get into some real deep stuff. We're just trying to wake you up today and shake you up today. You know what I'm saying? But also, what I got to Deuteronomy, what you were talking about, the black on black crime, that's Deuteronomy 28:54. The diabetes, the AIDS, the HIV, all these the high blood pressure, all these new diseases, that's Deuteronomy 28:61. The mental health issue that we have in the black community, that's Deuteronomy 28 chapter 28 verse. Slave master raping our damn wives and mothers, and sisters. That's Deuteronomy 28 chapter 30 verse. The colonialism, the colonialism that's good known that the women don't do to us and our people over in the African countries. That's Deuteronomy 28 chapter 31st verse. Us serving other gods of wood and stone and scattered through the four corners of the earth. We become the wood is that wooden cross and the stone is that Kabbalah Muslim stone. That's Deuteronomy the 28th chapter 64th verse. You at the bottom of all the nations. That's Deuteronomy 28 chapter 43 through 44th verse. The family being torn apart. That's Deuteronomy 28 chapter the 56th verse. The kids going into slavery. Once we got off the ships. That's Deuteronomy the 28th chapter 32nd verse. You've been called a nigger, an African American, a color, a coon, a monkey, and every damn derogatory word in the book. That's Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, the 37th verse. You serving other gods again. That's Deuteronomy chapter 28 chapter 36 verse. You having a yoke of iron around your neck and thirsty and hungry and want all damn things. That's Deuteronomy 28 chapter, the 48th verse. Your kids being taken away, while you in slavery. So, your kids getting taken once you got the book. Once you got the boat, that was 28:32. Now we're at 28:41. Your kids being taken away while they in slavery. That's the kidsies. the ones that was already born over here, but they're being taken away from the separated from the mother on the plantation. Now, since I broke that down to you, let's talk about how it was saying how we were going to go to a nation and serve other gods. We're going to go to Egypt again with ships. Egypt being a Greek word that means bondage. So you're going to go in bondage and captivity again. How? How this time? They said with ships. But you know, throughout the Bible, it keeps telling us we're going to go into captivity after captivity. But let me get the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter. And I'm going to do Joel, the 3rd chapter, and I'm going to start with the 6th verse. The children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem, that's the northern kingdom and the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom, have ye sold unto the Grecians, that they might remove them far from their border. There you go again. Remember Psalm the 83rd chapter? How they going to try to take our remembrance from us? It's telling us again in the book of Joel, the 3rd chapter, the 6th verse, that they may remove them far from their border. Their border is their heritage, their culture, their identity. Take everything away from them. Their name, the name of Israel. There you go again. See how it all making sense now, Negro? Let me jump up to the 3rd verse. Joel, the 3rd chapter, the 3rd verse. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for a harlot, and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. What they did when we got on them ships? Yeah, they did it before we got off the ships. The goddamn Africans were selling us to the damn Grecians for wine.
Right.
And once the Grecian balls over here, they were selling the other Grecians, our women, for wine. Giving us up for a harlot. That means making us into buck breeding machines. You know what I'm saying? That's how we know how to be a rolling stone. Dumping wood, making babies to keep on, you know what I'm saying, keep on putting breeding plantations. Make a big old buck. These are some of the things, man, that was standing out to me in Deuteronomy 28th chapter, man. What are some other things that you might have seen, Don Yehuda?
Really, just on the context of brothers and sisters who might not be in the truth, Deuteronomy 64 down to 68. Just the whole, because the connector, the glue to everything is the slave trade. Because, you know, with the slave trade, it actually is the receipt as to who most of our people, not all melanated people, not all so-called African Americans, we're not saying that, but the majority of us who have came by way through our ancestors with the transatlantic slave trade, that's the glue to signify that you are of the house of Israel and Judah, that you are God's chosen people. You're the people of the book. When you read in Deuteronomy 28 and 64, it says, and the Lord shall scatter thee among all people. So that scattering is due directly to these slave trades. Nobody packed a lunch and said, honey, we're moving to Florida. That was not what was going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Our people got put into bondage. We was in war with other nations. We lost those wars. We're actually the children of the children of the children that were POWs, prisoners of war. We are the ones who are descended from our ancestors from the nation of Israel. And the scriptures tell you paramountly that the Lord shall scatter us among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. So don't never think that somebody in another country may not be your people, because there's a remnant of us in all countries and all nations throughout the world, throughout the four corners. If you ever say that, then you're trying to void out the scriptures. And woe unto you. Repent quick, because you're trying to nullify the word of the Most High. Our people is everywhere. Like Rudolph R. Winsor said, our people are omnipresent, meaning we're everywhere. We're everywhere on this planet because we've been scattered through the four corners due to this prophecy. Now, with that being said, you know, just to recap and bring it all together, if we're being scattered to the four corners of the earth and we're being scattered through these slave trades, like I told you, the very first slave trade of immense reach and resource was the Arab slave trade. Now, I told you that in Psalms 83, there was a confederacy. The brothers Zabot brought it out earlier with the confederacy, and I read it again with the confederacy. So who are these people in the confederacy? When you go into the book of Jubilees, because I mentioned that the Arabs is a very broad term. It's just like black. It's a very broad term. It doesn't really denote nationality. Arab may denote a little bit more nationality because black doesn't at all. But there is a landmass that was part of Africa known as Arabia. So the inhabitants could be known at that, but I'm going to tell you what it really means. When you look in the book of Jubilees, chapter 20, verse 12 and 13, it says, and Ishmael and his sons and the sons of Keturah and their sons went together and dwelt in Paran to the entering of Babylon in all the land which is towards the east facing the desert. And these mingled with each other, and their name was called Arabs and Ishmaelites. So we see right there in Jubilees, they were known as Arab and Ishmaelites. Let's get another source, because out of the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall a matter be established. In the book of Hebrews and Negroes, page 229, it states, since ancient time the Arabs were black. The Ethiopian Canaanite sons of Keturah, Abraham's wife, and the sons of Ishmael were often referred to as Arabs, aka the original black Arabs. They are known in the Bible as the Midianites and Ishmaelites. They often intermarried with each other and traveled with each other. Other religious Hebrew books, such as Jasher and Jubilees, placed them in Africa, Egypt, Canaan, Arabia, and the deserts of Paran. And we just read that in there, in the deserts of Paran, which is the Sinai Peninsula. Today, there are many blacks in the Middle East, Jordan, Palestine, Iraq, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, Qatar, Egypt, that are not shown by our media. Therefore, we don't think they exist because we don't see them. We don't see them because they show us the Turkish offspring of these people, which is what we quote unquote call the white Arabized races. In this book called The Historical Geography of Arabia and the Patriarchal Evidences of Revealed Religion, Part 2, it also states, Ishmaelites, it says, I have already proved at large that the Ishmaelites or Hagarenes, the Hagarenes and Ishmaelites are one and the same people, and the Keturians dwelt mingled with each other over almost every quarter of the Arabian Peninsula. It remains now to show that the Edomites, or the descendants of Esau, can with equal clearness be traced everywhere throughout Arabia, intermingled with both the other Abrahamic stocks. So why is that important? When you read in Psalms 83 and it talks about that confederacy and they start naming them off, we see that all of the Abrahamic stock, the Ishmaelites, the Edomites, the Midianites, all of these people were all mingled together. You understand what I'm saying? And so these people had, when you read the scriptures, they all had some type of animosity towards the nation of Israel. You have to remember, Ishmael got kicked out. According to the scriptures, Abraham sent Hagar and Ishmael out on their own. You understand? Edom, he lost the blessing due to Jacob. The Midianites, they really don't expound upon, but obviously they didn't get what Jacob and the other ones before them got. So you have to realize that we're talking about tribal animosity, tribal hierarchy within the region. So now you have these quote unquote Arabs that have an axe to pick or bone to pick with the children of the Most High. They start riling them up, taking them into captivity, and they start enslaving them through the Arab slave trade. Now, this is where what the brother just brought out in Joel chapter 3, where it talks about what do you have to recompense with me, Tyre and Sidon, by way of the Hamites that was already in the land, also going with the Ishmaelites or the Arabs into the slave trade. Now they're selling us off into the quote unquote, what we call the so-called white man. When you read that in the book Chosen People from the Caucasus, it tells you on page 17, Jews, which would be the Greeks in this point, because they all come from the same people group, the so-called white Jews, had immense influence in the expansion of Europe that began in 1492 and culminated in world domination. For converso Jews who have supposedly involuntarily converted to Roman Catholicism put up most of the money to finance the voyage of Christopher Columbus. In the early days of the conquest of the Americas from 1494 to 1550, Jews were a numerous minority, if not an actual majority, of the so-called Spanish colonists that settled in the New World. Many of the conquistadors were Jewish and as such took part in the most brutal episode of genocide and extermination the world has ever witnessed. So we see they was part of the conquistadors. When you read other literature, it tells you that the Jews were the ones who actually bought the ships, funded the ships, and funded a lot of the voyages. So real quick, before I land my plane, I just want to read off some dates that just can culminate, something that you can reference to and go look at, right? So I just said the Arabs started the Arab slave trade, which began the dispersing or the scattering of God's people to the four corners, which then culminated in the transatlantic slave trade, which was funded by the so-called Jews that we read in Revelations 2 and 9. Let me get that real quick, because all of this is prophetic. We've been saying this all day long. It's very redundant. All you got to do is read. All you got to do is be able to open your mind, let go of all the things that you learned and try to relearn, because that's what's going to help you. You know, John tells you that, you know, you shall know the truth and the truth will set you free. So Revelations 2 and 9 say, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich. We are rich because we have a rich heritage. We have a rich past. We're rich as a people in our customs, our laws, our moral and civil, our dietary. We're rich because we have the creator of the heavens and the earth as our sponsor. Nothing greater than that. That's why we're rich. And it says, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews. We don't call ourselves Jews today. We call ourselves niggas. We call ourselves spics. We call ourselves Black, African-American, Afro-American, Colombian, Cuban, so forth and so on, wherever we at in the world, scattered through the four corners. We call ourselves whatever our oppressor has labeled us. That's what we call ourselves. And it says, and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So they're Satan because they're adversary against us and knowing and telling us, giving us the information, corroborating what they know, that we are the people of the book. So these slave trades took place back in 1452 AD, important date. Pope Nicholas V institutes the Dum Diversas, which authorized King Alfonso V of Portugal to reduce Saracens, Muslims, and Black Jews and all other believers to perpetual slavery. 1455 AD, Pope Nicholas V issues the Romanos Pontifex. This sanctioned the seizure of non-Christian lands and encouraged the enslavement of non-Christian people in Africa and the Americas. Remember, when the scriptures say in Deuteronomy chapter 28 that another nation would come against us that was fierce, this is that nation that came against us. These are that nation that didn't care about young or old, because they started issuing mandates for other nations of people to come in to colonize our areas, to come in and Christianize us. Remember, just like Muhammad and Islam did to us, you either convert or die by the sword, so did Roman Catholicism. You either convert, you either have to leave, or you're going to die by torture and the sword. It was no reprieve for God's chosen people due to the sins that we committed. We did not want to change. We did not want to repent. So in 1578, the Spanish Inquisition was created by Ferdinand II and Isabella. In 1480 AD, Ferdinand and Isabella sent inquisitors against heresy among converted Jews, known as conversos. These are our brothers and sisters who, under the Roman Catholic belief system, converted to Roman Catholicism, but still secretly practiced I don't want to say Judaism, practiced the law, statute, and commandments. This is why when you read in the Roman Catholic papers of them switching the Sabbath to Sunday, it said anybody that is caught Judaizing shall be punished. So those are who they was talking about, the conversos. 1492, the Alhambra Decree, Spanish Jews given 3 months to accept Christianity or leave the country. This same year, Rodrigo Borgia, father of Caesar Borgia, becomes Pope Alexander VI. Same time, Columbus voyages to the New World financed by Ferdinand and Isabella, sails to Whately Island, Bahamas, October 12th, Cuba, October 18th, and Haiti, December 6th. In 1493 AD, Pope Alexander VI signed the Inter Caetera, states the papacy commanded Spain to instruct the inhabitants, residents, and dwellers in the Catholic faith. So this is where you see in those old images and drawings where you see the indigenous peoples throughout the world on stakes and fire, and you see a priest with the Bible and the cross and the Roman Catholic garb, either telling them you have to accept Roman Catholicism or you're going to die. This was the decree that issued for these people to come into those lands and do these things by way of the Pope, the Roman Catholic Church, the beast on the earth. And it says, Columbus' voyage to the New World financed by Ferdinand and Isabella. Oh, no, excuse me. Jump to the next one, 1493. Pope Alexander VI signed the Inter Caetera, states the papacy commanded Spain to instruct the inhabitants, residents, and dwellers in the Catholic faith and train them in good morals. This paved the way for European colonization and Catholic missions in the New World. 1495 through 1496 AD, the Jews, the Black Jews, the Israelites expelled from Portugal. 1505 AD, Portuguese found factories on east coast of Africa. Now, just around the south, our people were being attacked on many different fronts. You have our people who are known as the Sephardic Jews, the original Sephardic Jews that were up in Iberia, Spain, and Portugal. They were being attacked by the Roman Catholic Church in Spain, particularly by Ferdinand and Isabella by way of the Pope. Then you have our people by way of the Arab slave trade in the northern parts of Africa being enslaved and being converted to Islam. We were being attacked on many fronts, and all of these things, as you see through the dates, coincide with them coming over to what they call the New World, which is America. And in 1505, the Portuguese found factories on the east of Africa, which, with the Portuguese Jews, they would separate the children from their parents and send them over to these places like São Tomé, Ghana, Guinea, and they would re-instruct these children in the ways of Roman Catholicism by way of creating the amnesia we spoke about earlier in these days. Then you fast forward to 1619, where they start going over. You look at the old maps, you see these places called the Slave Coast. On the Slave Coast, like the video showed earlier, you had the Kingdom of Judah and Wida. Wida was just the French word of Judah. This is where our people was. This is where they got the bulk of the slaves, where you start attributing it to the Igbo and to some of the Ashanti and some of the Limba and so forth. So this is how you connect the dots as how the so-called African American, by way of Deuteronomy 28:64 being scattered to the four corners of the earth, are the children of the book. This is how we know we are those people. This is how we know we have power with the Most High, because he said in the end days that it'd be known that's who we was going to be, and we see it coming out. And if you don't believe this, then you a fool. You're a fool, and I pray that you repent of that thing, man, and you just open your mind and your eyes, because it's telling you by history, by scripture, and everything else in between, we them people, man. I can't make it no clearer on this short podcast today. We them people.
We don't read them brews, boy. Ready. Dang.
We them boys. We them boys.
With them brews, man. And then once you got over here, and you know, and Master got you up in the house, he got his prestige friends around. His prestige friends. He said, "Hey, nigga, sing me one of those good old nigger songs." The Book of Psalms, chapter 137, verse 3 and 4. For they that carried us away captive required of us a song, and they that wasted us required of us a myth, saying, sing us one of those songs of Zion. Niggas, sing me one of those nigger songs, because nobody can sing them like y'all. How can we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? Uh-oh, nigga. You are them brews. You them brews. We're going to prove to you time after time after time. We're going to do a part 2 of this. You know what I'm saying? We're going to do a part 2. We're going to show you the race wars that's coming, the thermonuclear destruction in the Bible, and more prophecies to come. We just want to show y'all today that you them brews. You the children of Israel. You are the Israelites. You have been deceived, and we told you why. We showed you how. It's crafty counsel. They're think tanks. Your think tank all day is just to talk about the silliest shit. You worry about LeBron James contract. You're worried about the next rap song. You're worried about so-and-so business. You know, you're worried about getting on social media and you know, and gossiping. You're worried about being a bad bitch. You're worried about being a goon, a savage, a thug.
Right.
You know, so, but final thoughts, brother Zadok. Let's talk knowledge and wisdom radio. Final words or thoughts on today's show. This is something like a part one of this.
Kind of want to just leave it out, man, on the curses here, man. You know, and let our people know, you know, definitely who they are, that they are the real Jews, that they the Israelites the Bible speak of, God chosen people. Deuteronomy 28:37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee. That's what we got to understand. We are becoming an astonishment in this land. We get the finger pointed at us, man, whether we doing good, whether we doing bad. I mean, we an astonishment, man. And a proverb, we are a wise saying among the nations. They always got something wise, something slick to say about God's chosen people. We have become a byword. Our names have been changed. We wear the names of the oppressor on our backs, right? We are a byword. We are no longer called the Israelites. We are no longer known as a nation of Israel. When you read in Psalms 83, which you brought out earlier, right? And that's among all nations. It says, whether the Lord shall lead thee. So wherever we go, know for a surety it's by the hand of the Most High. We always going to be, we got a label on us, man. This curse is following us for not keeping the commandments, for not adhering to the law, for stopping the ears and pulling away the shoulder, right? For just being a rebellious house, for saying to the seers, prophesy not unto us right things, but prophesy unto us smooth things. Speak unto us smooth things. That's our people. So with that, I say shalom, man. Enjoy the rest of your Shabbat.
And like I said, we're going to do something like a sequel or a part two to this. We're going to go over some of the prophecies of how we're going to become, you know, some of everything. LGBT. We're going to show the race war prophecies, the thermonuclear war prophecies, the final prophecies and everything. But let me get this right here for y'all so y'all can have something to savor until the next time we do a sequel to this show. Isaiah, the 14th chapter. And I just want to read verse 1 through 3. That's it. Isaiah the 14th chapter, verse 1 through 3, King James Version. For the Lord will have mercy upon Jacob. He's going to have mercy on us Israelites. Don't y'all worry. We're going to come out of this soon. And he will yet choose Israel. There you go. He's going to tell you. He's going to choose us. And set them in their own land. We're going back to our own land. Wherever that may be. Wherever the real land of Israel is at, we're going back there. And the stranger shall join unto them. There's going to be some Gentiles. There's going to be some strangers, some other nations there. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Oh, yeah, but they're going to cleave to us, though. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to know the Lord is with us. We the shit. You know what I'm saying? We're superior. You're going to figure that out real fast. And the people shall take them. We're going to take them and bring them to their place. We're going to bring them to our place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. Yes, you heard it. We're going to possess them in the land of the Lord. We're going to possess them in our new land. They're going to be butlers and maids. And they shall take them captives. Yeah, they're going to be captives. Whose captives that they were? Yeah, we were once they captives, but now the roles is going to reverse. It's no fun when a rabbit got the gun in it. And they shall rule over their oppressors. We're going to rule over our oppressors now. Huh? That shit going to flip-flop. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall give them rest from their sorrow. Don't worry. You ain't gonna be at the bottom no more. You're gonna be brought from shit to sugar again. From shit back to sugar. You niggas ain't gonna be killing each other. You ain't gonna be down, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna be working together. Something you niggas hate to do. And from thy fear and from thy hard bondage, wherein thou hast made to serve. We're gonna come out of this captivity everywhere from the four corners of this earth. We're gonna go back into our land. We're going to live righteously and abundantly. We're going to have the riches. We're going to have the wives. We're going to have the children. We're going to have everything, the fruits, the vegetables. We're going to have no GMOs. It's going to be beautiful. But it's some things that got to happen before then. We're going to discuss that next time. Brother Dunya, who the final thoughts on today's show?
Yes. The book of John, chapter 8, verse 32. And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Hey man, today was a very impactful day. All praises to the Most High for you brothers. Y'all brought some fire today. Y'all brought the insight today. I know that most people should be able to glean the information that was brought out today. This book right here is called Into Egypt Again with Ships. This is a good gift that you can get family members and friends that's not in the truth, but might be, you know, researching or looking for the truth. It gives a nice breakdown with the scriptures and correlated with, you know, events that happen to our people throughout, the curses and everything in between. So that would definitely be a good gift. It doesn't cost much at all. I think it was anywhere between 15 to 20 bucks max. Also, if you're online, go over to Brother Benaiah Israel. He's done a lot of hard work. A lot of the Portuguese information and the atrocities and slave trade that took place with the Hidden Hebrew series, definitely look out for that. That's a must. If you ever watched, you know, any of these other series that talk about, you know, who we are as a people, definitely watch the Hidden Hebrews, because that definitely builds up who we are from the time we were cast out of Israel all the way through the slave trade up until now. It paints a very beautiful picture of who we are as a people. Other than that, I hope everybody enjoyed the Sabbath day today. I see Sister Weezy said to keep Brother Sham in the prayers. So everybody out there, you know, lift up prayers for Brother Sham, and just lift up prayers also for our nation, the people, that they will wake up to this truth, that they will hearken unto the voice of the Most High, the sheep that hear his voice, and that they will make repentance and supplication back unto the Most High, as is instructed in 1 Kings chapter 8 and 48 through 51, 52. So with that being said, brothers, it was a pleasure. Hopefully the Most High willing, we can do a part 2. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, hey, Brother Zadok, you brought that fire, brother. You know what I'm saying? You went in, hey, you went in hard today. Brother Sadat, you brought that insight today, brother. Once again, it was a pleasure with you, brother. With that, I say shalom. Enjoy your Sabbath today, Most High willing.
And I like to end every show off with Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 13 and 14. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For the Most High God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good and whether it be evil. I'd like to thank the brothers of Dark Fire Talk Radio podcast. Y'all go hit that subscribe button. With the brother Dunya Huda, Fire Talk Radio podcast, hit that subscribe button. The brothers of Dark, Let's Talk Knowledge and Wisdom podcast radio, go hit that subscribe button. And also right here, hit the subscribe button, the like button, the Scoring Black Man podcast. And I'd like to thank everybody out there, the K. Judah Show. Go hit the subscribe button over there. Sister Professor Lovely Lady, Sister Weezy, Sister Mika, all the brothers that came in, and everybody who's watching live, everybody who's watching not live. Hey, subscribe to this channel. Send to Black folks. This channel is all about attacking serious issues within the Black and urban communities. And today we want to attack the issue of who are the real Jews according to history, the Bible, and any other historical book or a book of faith. And with that, we love you, brothers and sisters. Let's try to do better. Let's not try. Let's do better. Shalom.
Shalom.